what I like about this young lady is she asks intelligent questions and she listens to what you say, and it's really nice to see, because you want to have an intelligent conversation.
So may I just say, I'm actually not a young lady, I'm non-binary.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
And it's technically, non-binary is this thing where I don't feel like a guy or a girl, and I go by they, them pronouns.
Okay.
It's just, I look like a girl.
Were you born as a girl?
I was technically biologically born as a girl, yes.
Okay.
So why don't you want to be that then?
Because I don't feel like a girl or a boy.
Yeah, I understand that.
I just don't feel like either.
Yeah.
I don't feel like.
No feeling at all.
I don't think that. I don't feel like either of those labels really fit me. So I feel more. I don't really feel either of those genders.
Do you understand that in nature, an elephant, for example, is born male or female, and the female will go on and have children of her own? Yes, do you understand? That's how it works in nature, is that you're born with the feminine parts, and that is nature defining you as a feminine entity here. So yes, the elephant may decide, I want to be a rhino, or I don't really want to be an elephant, or I don't want to be a female.
Does the elephant have the mind of have the more... People say it's more advanced, but I'm not sure about that. Does the elephant have the more advanced mind of a human being to decide whether it wants to be...
That's an interesting, very good question. But what I ask you, can I ask you this question then? Is it that an elephant in its totally natural state is more in tune with nature than the modern child who has spent very little time in nature and spends more time in a digital world?
It depends on the child.
In the modern world, a lot of children don't know where potato chips come from. They don't know where chicken meat, for example, was once a living animal. Most children today are looking forward to a digital technocracy in which they can wear VR headsets. And
I'm not sure if we're actually going to get to that stage in life anymore because of what's going on right now.
I'm just only trying to make the point that I don't think that the humankind is as natural as an elephant in the wild anymore. And so why we see a change in the way that we do things and the way people define themselves is because we're moving into a world in which the natural ways of things aren't as important anymore, and this self-definition. So because we're so intelligent, we have the power to be brainwashed. An elephant can be trained, but in the natural state, it's doing exactly what it was naturally intended to do. However, the human being is programmable, and we know that through looking at other countries where there's been indoctrination against a certain religion or a certain ethnic type or whatever. It's very easy to take a good mind, a good person, and make them believe things that aren't true about themselves or about other people.
I mean, no disrespect, sir, but what exactly are you saying about this?
Well, I'm saying that you were created but with divine intent, and that the masculine and feminine...
Intent from who?
From your higher self.
Explain, please.
Well, I suggest to people that if there is a God, then it exists. If there is, I'm saying, if there's a creator, if there's a source, because when we look around, we see so much, Fibonacci, golden spiral, so much, perfect design, and that design replicated in so many different biomes. So I believe that this creator intended to create a world in which it could come and experience itself in various avatars, including yours. And so you are the expression of the creator. Like if I took an orange and took one cell out of that orange, it would be no less orange, even though in magnitude much smaller, it would be no less orange. And you are no less God, although you're like the Russian dolls. You're the smallest seventh doll in the middle, and the biggest one is Allah, is the Mother Nature, is everything. And I believe we live in a world that doesn't want you to know that. So it gave us religion, it's given us this globe science that says you evolved from monkeys, and that we only happen to be in a Goldilocks zone, otherwise we would be wiped out, and nothing's important, and dinosaurs were here before us, and there's alien life that's smarter than us. It says nothing about your divinity, about that, wow, you are God.
Is there alien life?
There might be.
There may be, but no one's actually found out for sure.
Yeah, so I don't know that there is, but I think that in the electromagnetic universe theory, there are levels of frequencies that we know that we can't see. And you are the expression of the creator. You had a divine intention to come here and have a beautiful experience, but all of us have been put through indoctrination camps. I was sent to war as a kid. People have been put through world wars and hate women, hate men, hate eating animals and all of this sort of stuff. Just hate on humans. Like Greta Thunberg says, how dare you be even breathing? Like we're so bad. Well, what if it's like you are the reason? That Jesus was trying to say that you are the way, you are the purpose. That everything was designed for you to be the hub of the wheel, and the world took the universe, the zodiacal signs, to be those guides that are above you, that are your chakra points, are your energy centers, that are to receive good energy, bad energy, or whatever, but to have an experience, a divine experience of nature. But in the future, people are going to say, I don't even want my physical avatar anymore. I want my consciousness uploaded into a computer. I don't want these body parts anymore. I just want to have robotic body parts because they work much better. Fake boobs, fake this, fake that. And that's where, humanity is taking, the elephant is never going to ask for augmentation of the lips to make them fatter. The elephant's never going to care for that. But the female in the modern world, she's going to care about that. Why? Because her intelligence has been used to give her a message about who she is and how she should present in the world and why it's bad to be a woman and we shouldn't even want to have children and all these things, rather than saying, wow, God created me, or I created myself in the divine feminine or the divine masculine. I've been perhaps given messages that have discouraged me from even feeling that or knowing that or being in true contact with my true nature.
Why would NASA or the government lie to us about these things?
Do you have a religion?
No, I am atheist.
Okay, so why would the religions lie?
I mean, I am not quite sure, but I guess mostly to take control of your news.
Okay, so if that religion way of controlling
I'm not saying that religions lie, though. I just don't really believe in God, because I'm not sure what any of you believe, but I'm okay with that. I just personally don't believe in God.
Yeah, I was the same up until the age of 47, and then I took DMT, dimethyltryptamine. You know what ayahuasca is? It's the God particle. It's what the shaman do in South America to speak to the spirits and go beyond. And at that point, I had this experience, which from an atheistic point of view, and I was strong atheism, and it opened like I said earlier on, we can only perceive a small amount of the frequency band. It was almost like taking an old black and white TV and replacing it with a flat screen, with a skybox and all 150 channels. All of a sudden, I can see a whole lot more, and I'm experiencing a whole lot more than I ever realized was possible. And my atheistic ass got a big whipping that day. In 6 minutes, the first words I came back after that was, it's true, there is a God. And I was connected during the experience to my higher self, not God necessarily, but to a higher self that is an eternal being. I lost all fear of death at the age of 47, and I realized that I am part of something from a loving, total omnipotence that cannot be harmed by anything here on earth. So this avatar may die, it will die, but my higher self continues on, and perhaps I'm doing something for my higher self simply by being here talking to you. But I'm taking my higher self on a particular journey because I realized in 2015, I need to honor what I come from. And if we come from nature, then we don't honor it by throwing litter down on the ground, do we? We don't honor nature by throwing oil in the river. No, we don't honor our nature like that. Same as we don't honor our nature by poisoning our body, by getting drunk every night. All of those sort of things. We're not honoring who we are. And so when it comes to what our gender is and how we were born as part of a beautiful thing that has its self-replication as part of its cycle of entropy, of always, always growing, always going, always upcycling, if you like, always doing that. But now humankind has been put into a down cycle, and we have never been further away from our true God self, our true natural self. And I see this binary agenda as a part of demeaning and diminishing our true natural essence. A woman can choose to do what she wants with her body. That's absolutely, if you want to dress like a man or a woman, that's up to an individual. But I do know for sure that our society is intending to create these memes in people's minds that put this disjointed thing. I think even like anime, the cartoons and things like that, they can end up skewing what boys think about themselves, and they want to end up, being perhaps more feminine than they would otherwise have been had they grown on the land, had they been much more in touch with nature and so on. I don't have a problem with homosexuality or anything that people choose. It's your choice to do that, but the same is true.
Homosexuality isn't technically a choice. It's what you feel as a person, and it isn't a choice. You can't choose to be gay.
I don't know. I worked in a gay bar 25 years ago, and I spoke to a lot of gay men about their thing, and I think some people say yes, from the age of 6 or 7, I felt more attracted to men. Now, by the age of 6 or 7, you've had the most important experiences of your life. So is it possible in that time that either some chemical or some experience that you have lends you, whether it be that there was a male role model that happened to hurt you or support you in a particular way that made you feel soft because it was different to how your mother treated you, or whatever, a smorgasbord of different things that could determine that. I raise a child, I take puppies. You got a cage of 5 puppies there, a cage of 5 puppies there. I starve those, I love those.
Isn't it illegal to keep puppies in a cage?
Okay, I'm just giving you an example to say how I could mistreat or love on the same breed of dog and get very bad outcomes from the one. So what I'm suggesting is that maybe why we see such a spike in homosexual choices for people's lifestyles is because our society is driving that agenda. you know, and because it is about breaking down families, it is about stopping the natural cycle. Eventually they have this idea that, oh, maybe we won't even procreate anymore. If you want a child, you'll have to pay for it, and it'll be done in a test tube.